Shri Krishna. Hello, Jai Shri Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada. The greatest exponent of Krishna consciousness in the Western world. As it is stated in the 1972 Macmillan edition, which was edited in the later one to remove that sentence. Quote, the greatest exponent of Krishna consciousness in the Western world. And, well, actually the whole world. I mean, it's not just the Western world. Went to Africa too. Like, come on. That's weird. I was only live for 1 second. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, let us begin. We're doing chapter 11, verse 32 through 35. The famous Oppenheimer referenced verse is today. Related Vaishnava news. I went to ISKCON Daegu for the first time last Sunday. It's one reason I wasn't around. I biked there. It was like a 2-hour bike ride almost. Oh, man. Really good exercise, but I got just thinking about it is clearly disturbing me. But it was fun. I mean, it was really good. I don't regret it. It's just longer than I normally go. Mostly Nepalis are living there in that region. A lot of Southeast Asians in West Daegu, apparently. It was just one other foreigner from Mongolia and Russia, the guest speaker, and us three were the only initiated ones there, I think. Not that I care at all, but they are really sweet. They didn't seem much culty at all. That was good. Piece just came off my phone. Been waiting for this thing to naturally break anyway because it's sharp. I wonder if it's better now. I deliberately break it. Will be less. Yeah, it's less sharp now. It's not going to work good anyway. It's so funny. It's better now. Okay, that's enough for me. Let's glorify and invoke the Supreme before reading the literal translation of these verses by H.D. Goswami, my Diksha Guru. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Here we are, 32 to 35. The Lord said, Time I am, world destroyer, expanded, engaged here to withdraw the worlds. Even without you, all the fighters standing in opposing armies shall not be. Therefore, stand up, gain glory, conquering the enemies, rule a flourishing kingdom. I alone have already slain them. You, Savyasachi, be but an instrument. Slay those slain by me. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and still other battle heroes. Do not waver. Fight. You will conquer the foes in battle. Sanjaya said, hearing these words of Keshava, diademed Arjuna made a trembling bow with folded hands. Extremely frightened, voice choked, bending forward, he spoke yet again to Krishna. Really beautiful words there, flowing so lovely. One thing that I believe, as I remember, should definitely sound better in Prabhupada's translation, this part in verse 32, to withdraw the worlds, that's a very interesting word. I mean, we're talking about colossal destruction, but withdraw is so interesting. It might even be more accurate if you see God as the artist who drew in the world into existence and then he's withdrawing it out. There's a certain transcendental accuracy there, but for the average English reader, it's kind of like, huh? What are you talking about? So he's just going to like walk away from the world? No, he's going to destroy everything, basically. That's why Oppenheimer quoted this verse in regards to the atomic/nuclear bomb, which is just a piece of Krishna's power. Here's verse 32 as translated by Prabhupada. I'll do the same thing I did last time. I'll just do 32 to 35, and then we can go back and do purports and stuff. Did have a few notes here, mostly on 34 and 35. So I'll do my notes too. The blessed Lord said, "Time I am, destroyer of the worlds, and I have come to engage all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Therefore, get up and prepare to fight. After conquering your enemies, you will enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement. And you, O Savyasachin, can be but an instrument in the fight." The blessed Lord said, "All the great warriors, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, are already destroyed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies." Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, "O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna trembled, fearfully offered obeisances with folded hands, and began falteringly to speak as follows." Lovely. What else can I say? Yeah, my only notes for 32 is this is the Oppenheimer verse. We're starting to get longer purports here in this chapter. For now, we'll just move on to 33. In both translations, that Sanskrit word is used without being translated. And that's obviously significant, and that's exactly how Prabhupada starts the purport here. So I'll just read Prabhupada. Savyasachin refers to one who can shoot arrows very expertly in the field. Thus, Arjuna is addressed as an expert warrior capable of delivering arrows to kill his enemies. Quote, "Just become an instrument," unquote. Nimitra matram. This word is also very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan and all manifestations are but accidental formations. Skipping ahead. What is the plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. So who is intelligent is one who can cultivate Krishna consciousness. Paraphrasing. And one note I had about this, once again, the poetic beauty of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, and Prabhupada. All three, all one and the same, I would say, in the terms of poetics. There's a literal aspect where Arjuna is literally an expert archer, sure. But there's a deep, deep symbolism as well. The bow is a tool for the archer, but the archer himself is also a tool of his master, perhaps the general on the field. And in this case, that is Krishna. And Krishna is a standard military general in this context. He's saying, be my tool. He's not doing what I do as a teacher. I'm not a military commander, and I have no problem with that style. I like obedience and these sorts of things, but I like to lead Brahmins. I guess I'm following Prabhupada with my leadership style. And even with my kindergartners, I give them as much independence and freedom as I possibly can. But if they don't deserve X amount of it, then I got to do X minus 1, X minus 2. I got to do, if they need me to command or whatever, reduce their responsibility because they haven't earned it yet, then that's what will be done. But in the military, the archer, the soldier, the siege sector, whatever, the bombers, the whatever your job is, you have orders, and you're a chess piece on the board. And the quarterback, the general, the commander can see the whole board in a way that you can't see it. So when the commander says, take down that target over there, your place is to follow that command. It's all that there is to it. And that's exactly what Krishna is doing, saying, Arjuna, you're my man. And we've already won too. Krishna is not a mundane military commander who's really trying hard because he really doesn't know what the event of the battle is going to be. Krishna has already done it. It's already happened. It's been planned, executed, concluded. It's all done. It's all already finished. Krishna is saying, just go, just do the motions. Just play it with me. Just come along with me. It'll work out. But Krishna's not really saying have faith. Krishna is saying get back to your Varna. It's more like wake up. That's why it's called Bhagavad Gita. It's a song. This is one of the flute songs, the serenade from Krishna to the soul. It's like, come back, come back, wake up. Not in the way I say wake up. It's much more love to it when Krishna does it than me. The Cupid of all Cupids, of course. That's enough. Verse 34, enough from me, that is. Short purport. My notes I wrote, I think this purport, especially the end, refers to the fight that Srila Prabhupada himself was doing in that moment. And he's telling the devotees around him, simply fight. We've already won, but we have to keep fighting. So this is the same theme. I'm not talking about that note I have here for verse 34. That could also apply to 33, 32, chapter 2 verses. I mean, this is a recurring theme throughout the entire Gita. But it's such a short purport, I'll just read the whole thing. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by his mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as his plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence. So by end of the purport, I think I'm specifically referring to the final sentence where it seems very fatherly and kind of like, in the same way that I might tell one of my kindergarten students, like, I'm not, if you're in the room with me and I'm looking right at you and I say one should, sit correctly in their chair and not jump around, dance around like a monkey. It's should be obvious, what I'm talking about, who I'm referring to. It's technically subtle, so I can get away with it, not be considered so mean or whatever. But at the same time, it's obvious. I don't think what Prabhupada doing is that obvious. I think I am speculating, but it does sound honestly more than 60% clear to me that when Prabhupada says one should follow such plans, he's talking about his plans and Krishna's plans, and one is his direct disciples, and grand disciples too, concerning the propagation of this movement throughout planet Earth in this time of Lord Chaitanya, in the Kali Yuga, basically. Moving on to 35. Okay, even shorter purport, so I'll just read it. As we have already explained, because of the situation created by the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna became bewildered in wonder. Thus he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again. And with faltering voice he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder. Interesting and perhaps poetic contradiction here is that in the colloquial translation it says fearfully, but in the purport, the author, I just said the author in my notes because when I do voice to text and I say Srila Prabhupada, it just comes out horribly. So, but in the purport, Srila Prabhupada stresses that it's not so much about fear, it's still more about wonder. Arjuna is still a friend and he's trembling because it's simply too much. You can't handle it. But the trust is still there. Friendship, love, trust, and so on. Devotion, all those bhakti, advanced bhakti feelings that Arjuna has is still there. But I guess it's Sanjaya or whoever the author is who's choosing these Sanskrit words, in this verse seems to be stressing that Arjuna is like really, he's literally trembling. Prabhupada states elsewhere, he uses this term, a transcendental fit of madness. That could be apropos here. But not for Bhagavad Gita. That's a more advanced bhakti thing. Bhagavad Gita is really a ground level foundational philosophy for many different sects of Hinduism, not just Bhakti Yoga. I mean, it's the groundwork for everything else. And when you like to live your life according to first principles, as I do, Bhagavad Gita never gets old, never gets tiring, gets better and better. And we're going to stop there. Another short stream, mostly for physical reasons. I have a big mucus buildup problem with the season changing here, and I'm hungry and dehydrated. I'm going to go tend to that right now. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis everywhere. Haribo!